Seinfeld might have been about nothing, but it definitely left a big mark on pop culture. The main cast, Jerry Seinfeld, Jon Alexander, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Michael Richards, became super famous thanks to their great chemistry and relatable characters. After the show ended, everyone was curious. Could they keep up their success? In this video, we'll see what happened to the main stars and some of the beloved side characters. From their big wins to the bumps along the way, find out how these actors managed their careers after the show wrapped. Number 1. Jerry Seinfeld as Jerry Seinfeld. While Jerry may seem a bit detached from the world around him, he's actually quite perceptive. He has a knack for noticing the little details that others often overlook. He's also remarkably optimistic, always looking for the bright side of any situation. When people warn him about the dangers of life, Jerry simply shrugs it off. He believes that he's somehow immune to the misfortunes that befall others. And while it might seem arrogant or naive, there's something undeniably charming about his unwavering belief in his own invincibility. For his place in entertainment history as the co-creator and star of TV Guide's F1 Greatest TV Show of All Time, Seinfeld, NBC, 1989 to 98, Jerry Seinfeld's real-life path seemed as simple and effortless as the sitcom that was supposedly about nothing. He became a successful stand-up comic, parlayed that into a sitcom based on his life as a successful stand-up comic, and after 9 years on TV returned to being a successful stand-up comic. Without a doubt, Seinfeld was the definitive observational comedian, naturally funny and obsessively hard-working, but the oft-overlooked secret to his success was his singularity of focus. He knew what he did best: irreverent, observational humor about the everyday minutiae of modern life, and he became the best at it. Jerry Seinfeld is also a passionate baseball fan. He's a big supporter of the New York Mets and often calls into a sports talk radio show to discuss the team. He's even had the chance to call a few innings of a Mets game on Sportsnet New York, reuniting with his old friend and former Seinfeld castmate, Keith Hernandez. Seinfeld himself is left-handed, and his first-ever joke was actually about left-handedness. In a 2014 interview, he made some comments that suggested he might be on the autism spectrum. However, he later clarified that he wasn't diagnosed with autism and was just talking about a play he related to. When it comes to politics, Seinfeld has made contributions to both Democratic and Republican campaigns. He supported George W. Bush and Al Gore for president, and he's also given money to several Democratic primary candidates. Jerry Seinfeld played by Jerry Seinfeld when he was 35 years old, and now he is 70 years old. Number 2. Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Elaine Benet's Elaine is the woman who can eat a salad like a lion and argue like a lawyer. Of course, her fiery personality can sometimes get her into trouble. She's quick to anger and can be quite stubborn. But that's just part of her charm. Beyond her professional ambitions, Elaine is a passionate individual with a wide range of interests. She loves to dance, even though she's terrible at it. She's a connoisseur of fine food, especially salads, and she has a keen eye for quality films. Just don't mention The English Patient. She'll go off on a rant that could rival a volcanic eruption. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was born on January 13, 1961, in Manhattan, New York. Her mom, Judith, worked as a special needs tutor and author, while her dad, Gerard, was a wealthy businessman. Her parents split up when she was young, so she grew up between Washington, D.C. and New York City. Julia met her future husband, Brad Hall, in college and made her film debut in Woody Allen's Hannah and Her Sisters in 1986. She now lives in Los Angeles with Brad and their 2 kids. Her dad was from France, and her grandfather, Pierre-Louis Dreyfus, was part of the French resistance during World War II. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, the talented actress and comedian, launched a podcast called Wiser Than Me in 2023. On the show, she interviews women older than her to learn about their life experiences and wisdom. She's had fascinating conversations with notable figures like Jane Fonda, Carol Burnett, Isabel Allende, and Amy Tan. Wiser Than Me has been a huge success, earning the title of Apple's Best Podcast of the Year in 2023. In Season 2, Julia Louis-Dreyfus interviewed even more inspiring women, including Billie Jean King, Patti Smith, and Julie Andrews. Elaine Benz played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus when she was 29 years old, and now she is 63 years old. Number 3. Michael Richards as Cosmo Kramer. Jerry's like that friend who's always watching the chaos around him, but never really gets caught up in it. He's got a knack for finding problems in his relationships and breaking things off for the smallest reasons. Jerry doesn't really care about what's going on with his friends. He sees their problems as more of a funny show than anything else. He'll even encourage them to do crazy stuff, just to see what happens. He's kind of like that friend who's always there to watch the show, but never gets involved in the action. Michael Richards achieved the dream of many actors. He created a timeless character who ended up so universally beloved, so undeniably unique, that no one could imagine another actor in that part. As Cosmo Kramer, the gangly, perpetually amped mooch of a neighbor to stand-up Jerry Seinfeld on the legendary sitcom Seinfeld, NBC 1990-98, he was an indelible, always hilarious presence. In 2013, Michael Richards joined the cast of Kirstie, a sitcom starring Kirstie Alley and Rhea Perlman. The show premiered on TV Land on December 4, 2013, but was canceled after just one season. In 2014, Richards made a cameo as the president of Crackle in a trailer for comedians in cars getting coffee. Jerry Seinfeld hinted that the trailer's storyline would be featured in an episode of the show. In 2019, Richards took on the role of Daddy Hogwood in the romantic comedy Faith, Hope, and Love, which starred Peter Murgatroyd and Robert Krantz. In November 2023, Richards announced he would be releasing a memoir titled Entrances and Exits. The book came out in June 2024. Michael Richards has been married twice. His first marriage was to Kathleen Lyons, a family therapist. They were married for 18 years and have one daughter together, Sophia. They separated in 1992 and divorced the following year. In 2010, Richards married his girlfriend Beth Skip. They have been together since 2002 and have one son, Antonio. Eddie Winslow was played by Darius McCrary when he was 40 years old, and now he is 75 years old. Number 4. Ruth Cohen as Ruthie Cohen. Ruthie Cohen from Seinfeld is a really nice person. She's always calm and polite, unlike the crazy characters she deals with. She's always there at Monk's Cafe, working hard and smiling at everyone. She's like a steady rock in a sea of chaos. Ruthie's really good at watching people. She sees everything that's going on, but she doesn't get caught up in the drama. She's like a silent observer, just watching the show unfold. She's a refreshing change from the other characters who are always getting themselves into trouble. Cohen is best known for her role as the cashier at Monk's Cafe on the classic sitcom Seinfeld. In this beloved TV show, she made a notable presence in the background, appearing in 101 out of the show's 180 episodes. Her role, though not central to the plot, became iconic as Monk's Cafe was a central hangout spot for the main characters. Despite her background role, Cohen did have the opportunity to shine with speaking parts in a few select episodes. These included The Gum, where she interacted briefly with the main characters, The Foundation, and The Junk Mail, showcasing her ability to contribute to key moments in the show. Beyond Seinfeld, Cohen's acting career spanned several other popular sitcoms of the era. She made guest appearances on The Golden Girls, The Nanny, Married, With Children, and Roseanne, adding her unique charm to each show. Her versatile acting skills were also evident in her occasional roles as a juror on the legal drama L.A. Law, where she brought authenticity to her brief but memorable appearances. Cohen's contributions to television were marked by her ability to bring depth to even the smallest roles, making her a cherished part of the TV landscape. Her performances, whether as a cashier, a guest star, or a juror, left a lasting impression on both audiences and fellow actors. Ruthie Cohen was played by Ruth Cohen when she was 62 years old. Sadly, Cohen died of a heart attack on August 23, 2008, age 78, in the Panorama City neighborhood of Los Angeles. Number 5. Jon Alexander as George Costanza. George is a real mess. He's neurotic, always worrying about everything. He hates himself and is often controlled by his parents. He's kind of dumb, but sometimes he thinks he's really smart. He's interested in random stuff like the Civil War and musicals, but he's too lazy to read a book. He's obsessed with sex and can't think straight when he's around girls. Even though he's a total loser, George is actually pretty happy with himself. He's like a walking contradiction. It's weird, but it's kind of funny. Jon Alexander may have split his career between Tony Award-winning musical performances and playing the voice of many animated characters, but mainstream television viewers were hard-pressed to remember him as anyone other than the worrisome, bespectacled sidekick of Jerry Seinfeld on the landmark 1990s sitcom, Seinfeld, NBC, 1989-98. The plum role of over-the-top George Costanza was indeed a superb showcase for Alexander's physical comedy and punchline timing, but attempts at headlining his own sitcom with Bob Patterson, ABC 2001, and Listen Up, CBS 2004-5, were short-lived. Like his fellow Seinfeld cast members, he found it nearly impossible to recreate the once-in-a-lifetime critical and popular success of his breakout series. But Alexander remained steadily employed as a television and theater director, stage actor, and regularly resurfaced in guest TV roles as nebbishy, neurotic types akin to the character that made him famous. In 2023, Paul Reubens started a podcast called Really? No, Really? With his friend Peter Tilden. On the show, they try to answer all sorts of weird and interesting questions about life. He also directed a play called The Cottage on Broadway. The cast included some famous actors like Eric McCormick, Laura Bell Bundy, and Lily Cooper. And if that wasn't enough, he was also on a CBS special called Dick Van Dyke, 98 Years of Magic. He sang a couple of songs and gave a tribute to Dick Van Dyke at the end of the show. George Costanza was played by Jon Alexander when he was 40 years old, and now he is 64 years old. Number 6. Wayne Knight as Newman's sneaky, manipulative, and always trying to screw someone over. Even when he's not targeting Jerry, he's still causing trouble for someone else. He's a bad guy, plain and simple. He's selfish and doesn't care about anyone but himself. Jerry's right. Newman is pure evil. Newman loves to annoy Jerry. He's always popping up when Jerry least expects it, just to make his life miserable. It's like he gets a kick out of it. Nobody knows why they hate each other so much, but Newman is definitely committed to keeping the feud going. Whether a blessing or a curse, actor Wayne Knight will be forever remembered as Newman, the annoying neighbor and chief nemesis to Jerry Seinfeld on the famed sitcom Seinfeld. But aside from his enormously popular role as Seinfeld's nemesis, Knight made a name for himself by appearing in various television series and films while lending his distinctive voice to numerous voiceover projects. He had notable supporting roles as one of Jim Garrison's investigators in JFK, a DNA thief in Jurassic Park, and the assistant district attorney who examines Sharon Stone during her infamous leg-crossing scene in Basic Instinct. From there, he began his long run on Seinfeld while simultaneously playing the clueless officer Don Orville on Third Rock from the Sun. Knight also voiced characters in animated films like Hercules, Tarzan, and Toy Story 2, as well as animated series on the Cartoon Network. After Seinfeld ended, he made a string of guest appearances on both dramas and comedies, including Nip Tuck, CSI Crime Scene Investigation, and Hot in Cleveland. He even reprised his role as Newman on Curb Your Enthusiasm. By the time he had a recurring role as a CIA honcho on the British series Torchwood. Miracle Day. Knight was one of the most in-demand character actors working in the business. Newman played by Wayne Knight when he was 37 years old, and now he is 69 years old. Number 7. Heidi Swedberg as Susan Ross. Susan is a high-powered executive at NBC. She's smart, ambitious, and dedicated to her job. It's no wonder George is totally smitten with her. She's the opposite of George. Calm, cool, and collected, while George is always freaking out. Susan is loyal to a fault. Even though George is a total mess, she sticks by him. She's kind of like a rock, keeping him grounded. It's a crazy relationship, but it shows how committed she is to him. After graduating, Heidi Swedberg packed her bags and headed to Kentucky to hone her acting skills. She immersed herself in the vibrant theater scene at the Actors Theater of Louisville, gaining valuable experience and honing her craft. Her first big break came in the movie In Country, where her performance caught the attention of industry professionals. She went on to star in a variety of films and TV shows, including Welcome Home, Roxy Carmichael, Kindergarten Cop, and Hot Shots. Her versatility as an actress allowed her to tackle a wide range of roles, from comedic to dramatic. Heidi's most iconic role was as Susan Ross on the sitcom Seinfeld. Her character, a charming and intelligent woman, quickly became a fan favorite. She appeared in several episodes over a few seasons, adding depth and humor to the show's dynamic ensemble cast. Beyond her acting career, Heidi has a passion for music. She plays the ukulele and sings in her own band, Heidi Swedberg and the Suki Jump Band. Her band has released 2 albums, Play and My Cup of Tea, showcasing her talent as a musician and songwriter. In addition to her own band, Heidi also performs with the Smoking Jackets, a group of talented multi-instrumentalists. Together, they have played at ukulele festivals and nightclubs, spreading their love of music to audiences around the world. Susan Ross was played by Heidi Swedberg when she was 26 years old, and now she is 58 years old. Number 8. Estelle Harris as Estelle Costanza. Estelle is one of those moms who's always yelling. She's constantly nagging her husband, Frank, and their son, George. It's like she's always mad about something. She and Frank have this weird on-again, off-again relationship. They hate each other, but they're stuck together. It's like they can't live with or without each other. They even got divorced for a while, but then they got back together for no reason. Their relationship is a total mess. Film and television actress Estelle Harris made a career out of treating her on-screen family members with loving contempt. As Estelle Costanza on the iconic sitcom Seinfeld, NBC, 1989 to 1998, Harris was the tart-tongued mother of George Costanza, Jon Alexander, who hurled shrieks and insults at her aimless New Yorker son who never seemed to do anything right. Harris's unique voice and comedic timing made her a go-to for roles that required a blend of humor and a touch of irritation. She took on similar roles in films such as Out to Sea, 1997, and Playing Mona Lisa, 2000, where her portrayal of nagging relatives was both entertaining and endearing. But her talents weren't confined to live action alone. Harris became beloved by younger audiences when she voiced the sassy Mrs. Potato Head in Pixar's Toy Story 2, 1999, and Toy Story 3, 2010. Her voice acting brought warmth and humor to the character, further cementing her status as a versatile actress. Despite starting her career later in life and often being typecast as the nagging mother, Estelle Harris managed to imbue her characters with a sense of depth and charm. Her ability to bring out the human side of even the most over-the-top characters allowed her to connect with audiences across generations. Harris's performances left a lasting impression, making her one of those rare actors who could make you laugh, cringe, and feel a little bit of love all at once. Estelle Costanza was played by Estelle Harris when she was 64 years old. Sadly, on April 2, 2022, Harris died of natural causes at her home in Palm Desert, California, at the age of 93, number 9. Jerry Stiller as Frank Costanza. Frank is a real piece of work. He's always got an opinion and he's quick to judge people. He's always assuming the worst of everyone. But he's trying to get better. He started saying, "Serenity now" when he gets angry, even though he usually yells it at the top of his lungs. Frank's a weird guy. He collects old magazines and even invented his own holiday called Festivus. It's like a twisted version of Christmas where everyone yells at each other and tries to beat each other up. Frank loves it. He thinks it's the perfect way to celebrate the holidays. As the short, straight man counterpart of the stellar husband and wife comedy team, Stiller and Meara, Jerry Stiller and wife Ann Meara were on top of the comedy game in the 1960s, a steady and hilarious presence on television variety, notably The Ed Sullivan Show, on which they appeared 36 times. Jerry Stiller was also an actor best known to younger audiences for his portrayal of two explosive and eccentric TV fathers, Frank Costanza on Seinfeld and Arthur Spooner on King of Queens. But older TV fans and moviegoers remembered him as one half of Stiller and Meara, a popular comedy team with roots in the famed Second City improvisational group. Stiller also endeared himself to audiences with exuberant performances in features like John Waters' Hairspray, 1985, and its 2007 remake. And he was a veteran of the New York stage, with frequent appearances in Joseph Papp's Shakespeare in the Park productions, and on Broadway in The Ritz and Hurley Burley for Mike Nichols. The fact that he was also the father of the extremely successful comic film actor Ben Stiller was not lost on fans who could see that the comic apple did not fall from the tree. Frank Costanza was played by Jerry Stiller when he was 66 years old. Sadly, on May 11, 2020, Stiller died from natural causes at his home on the Upper West Side of Manhattan at the age of 92. Number 10. Liz Sheridan as Helen Seinfeld. Helen'll do anything to keep Jerry safe and happy. She's always defending him and standing up for him, even when he's being ridiculous. She's a true matriarch and she's always there for her family, no matter what. Helen's also very traditional and conservative. She values family and stability, and she's always trying to keep things in order. She's a bit old-fashioned, which often clashes with the younger character's more modern views. But Helen's also very practical and down-to-earth. She's always got her feet on the ground and knows how to deal with problems. She's a calming influence on Jerry, who can be a bit chaotic. She's a great character, and she's a big part of what makes Seinfeld so funny. Liz Sheridan, best known for her unforgettable role as the nosy neighbor Raquel Ochmanek on the hit sitcom ALF, NBC 1986 to 1990, had an incredible journey before becoming a TV icon. Born in New York City in 1929 to a concert singer and a jazz trumpeter, Liz was destined for the spotlight. After graduating from Mamaroneck High School, she kicked off her career as a dancer in stage musicals and nightclubs, where her talent quickly shone through. In the early 1950s, Liz's life took an exciting turn when she had a brief but passionate romance with a then-unknown actor named James Dean, just before he skyrocketed to fame. In 1960, while performing in Puerto Rico, she met William T. Wales, sparking a relationship that would last decades before they finally tied the knot in 1985. Liz's acting career blossomed as she took to the stage and TV screens, appearing in over 30 shows, including Newhart, CBS, 1982 to 1990, Archie Bunker's Place, CBS, 1979 to 1983, and Hill Street Blues, NBC 1981 to 1987. But it was her role as Jerry Seinfeld's endearing and hilarious mother on Seinfeld, NBC 1989 to 1998, that truly cemented her place in TV history. Even in her later years, Liz continued to surprise audiences, famously sharing a steamy scene with Andy Griffith in Play the Game, 2009, at the age of 80. Liz Sheridan's vibrant career and life were anything but ordinary, making her a beloved figure in the world of entertainment. Helen Seinfeld was played by Liz Sheridan when she was 59 years old. Sadly, Sheridan died of natural cause on April 15, 2022, at her home in Manhattan at the age of 93. Number 11. Jon Hurley as J. Peterman has traveled all over the world, experiencing different cultures and having all sorts of adventures. He uses these stories to advertise the products in his catalog. He also pays attention to fashion trends from around the world and incorporates them into his catalog. Despite his successful business, Peterman has a very awkward social life. He's a bit of an oddball and often finds himself in strange situations. For example, he once moved to Burma to try to solve his problems. Though he had been acting on stage and television for years, Jon Hurley did not become a household name until 1995, when his signature character of J. Peterman, the pompous, effusive, and foolhardy catalog clothier, made his debut on the popular sitcom Seinfeld, NBC 1989 to 1998. Speaking in flowery prose, much like the over-the-top copy in the real J. Peterman catalog, O Hurley's character entered the cultural zeitgeist and became a part of television history. Jon Hurley is a man of many talents, known not just for his comedic chops, but for a diverse career that spans soap operas, TV movies, Broadway, game shows, and even voice work for animated series. He also showed off his dancing skills on Dancing with the Stars, ABC 2005 to present, where his unexpected last-minute loss actually helped boost the show's popularity in its early days. While some actors might struggle to move beyond a memorable character like J. Peterman from Seinfeld, O Hurley used that fame as a springboard for a vibrant and varied career. On the personal side, O Hurley has been married to Lisa Meslow since 2004, and together they have a son. Before that, he was married to actress Eva LaRue from 1992 to 1994. In addition to his entertainment career, O Hurley is a proud American and received the Ellis Island Medal of Honor in 2011 for his contributions to American society. He's also a conservative and a big fan of the Boston Red Sox. Jon Hurley is not just a successful actor and musician. He's also a devoted family man and a proud American with a wide range of interests. J. Peterman was played by Jon Hurley when he was 41 years old, and now he is 69 years old. Number 12. Barney Martin as Morty Seinfeld. Helen is a big softie when it comes to Jerry. She's always worried about him and wants the best for him. She's like a protective mama bear, always looking out for her cub. Helen's also very supportive of Jerry and Morty. She's always there for them, no matter what. She's the glue that holds the family together. She's a bit old-fashioned. Helen likes things to be done a certain way. She's not always on board with Jerry's crazy antics or Morty's weird ideas, but she loves them anyway. Best known as Morty Seinfeld, the lumpy, lovable, penny-pinching father of Jerry Seinfeld on the pop culture touchstone Seinfeld, NBC 1990 to 1998, character actor Barney Martin brought a unique mixture of clever comedy and everyman earnestness to his roles on stage, screen, and television for over 4 decades. He played a variety of memorable roles, such as the Cheese Man on The Golden Girls, a love interest for Thelma Harper in Mama's Family, and Frank Fontana's father on Murphy Brown. He also made a guest appearance on Full House as Ranger Roy, the host of a kids' TV show. In 1981, he portrayed Ralph Marola, the father of Liza Minnelli's character in the film Arthur, and appeared on an episode of Barney Miller the following year. In 1991, Martin was cast as Morty Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld's fictional father, on the sitcom Seinfeld. His first appearance was in Season 2's The Pony Remark. Martin replaced Phil Bruns, who originally played Morty in Season 1's The Stakeout. The show's creators, Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld, felt that Martin's portrayal brought a necessary sharpness to the character, making him the Morty Seinfeld audiences would come to know and love until the series ended in 1998. Morty Seinfeld was played by Barney Martin when he was 68 years old. Sadly, Artin died of bladder cancer on March 21, 2005, in Studio City, Los Angeles, California, at age 82. Number 13. Len Lesser as Uncle Leo. Leo's a bit of a character. He's sneaky, always up to something. He's also paranoid, convinced everyone's out to get him. And then there's his passive-aggressive side. He's not exactly subtle when he's annoyed. He can be clueless, but sometimes he surprises you. Like Jerry, he'll reluctantly help someone out, even if he doesn't really want to. His episodes are a fun peek into Jerry's family life, showing us just how weird his relatives can be. Blessed with a craggy face, a New York accent, and a talent for both drama and comedy, Len Lesser was a busy character actor who essayed numerous tough guys, thugs, and oddballs in a richly varied career in film and on stage and television that lasted over 5 decades. He received his showbiz start during the era of 1950s live television before graduating to feature films like The Birdman of Alcatraz, 1962. His on-screen versatility led to larger roles in 1970s, classic features like Kelly's Heroes, 1970, and The Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976. But he was perhaps best remembered as Jerry Seinfeld's bizarre Uncle Leo on several seasons of Seinfeld. Apart from a financial windfall earned through syndication, Lesser's role secured him wider exposure and more work as he entered his 7th and even 8th decades, and unquestionably raised the degree of respect afforded to a character actor of his pedigree. Uncle Leo was played by Len Lesser when he was 69 years old. Sadly, in February 16, 2011, Lesser died of cancer-related pneumonia in Burbank, California, at the age of 88. The Seinfeld cast brought so much style and humor to our screens. Who was your favorite character, and what moments from the show stick with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time.